Hey everyone, this is Andrew Martin Fudge / Jake Low Draven, and I hope everyone had a great Christmas. Hope you got everything you wanted, and a Happy New Year. By the time I'm filming this, it's 2017 New Year's Eve, so this is going to be a great year. I know it's going to be. So without further ado, I'm a movie fan. I love action films from the 80s, 90s, 70s, 2000s, and everything in between. And my other channel, actually Andrew Fudge, it's going to be more of the actor, monologue-y type channel, so I'm going to do some stuff over there. But on this channel, it's going to be dedicated to movies I grew up with. And right next to me is my Blu-rays. So I have Blu-rays from 2015, 2016, and some recent ones now. So this is going to be a Blu-ray / updates. So without further ado, here we go. This first movie I heard so much about. It features a martial artist of mine that I've liked for quite some time, and that's Savage Dog, with Scott Adkins, set in 1959 during Indonesia, and I've been wanting to see this, and I'll do a review of this soon. So that's Savage Dog. And the next movie I have is a good gem. It's The Killer Elite, starring Robert De Niro, Clive Owen, and Jason Statham. In this movie, when I saw the trailers of this thing, they had the song "Rock You Like a Hurricane," but it was like an orchestra version of it, so it's pretty cool, and I'll do a review of that sometime. My next movie also stars Robert De Niro and an actor that I've been a big fan of, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Val Kilmer, directed by Michael Mann. It's Heat. So this was a remake of a 1992 film, and Heat is just an amazing, two big favorite performances from De Niro and Pacino. That coffee shop scene, this is a gem. So anyway, so this next film came out in 2008, directed by J.J. Abrams. It's Cloverfield. I've seen this movie. It's got that shaky cam thing. T.J. Miller's in it, a.k.a. Stainer. And I'm going to do a review of this soon. And this is an interesting gem of a flick, so I'm going to check that one out. And I have a little trivia for you. This guy I'm about to introduce you to is, there's not a beard, but just a fist. Who do you think that is? And that is Chuck Norris, Lone Wolf McQuade. Now, it's directed by John Milius. It's kind of a Leone-style Western, if you like that. And his character is actually, he based a lot of this character on Walker, Texas Ranger. So, give this one a look. And here's another Norris flick. Because remember, he doesn't sleep, he waits. And that is Missing in Action, another Chuck Norris gem. So I'm going to give that one a look, and it's from the Canon Group, and there's other sequels I'm going to get soon, and so I'm going to do a review of that one. On another film, which I actually, interesting true story, actually met the TV star of the TV version of this series, but I love the movie, love the TV series, and that is Highlander. Yes, Highlander. And the star of that is Adrian Paul. He did the TV show Highlander. And interesting thing, though, Christopher Lambert, at the event I went, he was actually going to show up, but didn't. So I'm going to give that one a review. And here's another guy, another favorite martial artist of mine, and Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. Now, Enter the Dragon is another gem of a flick. Definitely he trains in Wing Chun, and the one scene with him and Bob Wall is, it's wrist against wrist, but I actually love that scene, and he trains in Wing Chun, so this is another watch. Oh, and here's another of his, actually a documentary, no less, and that's I Am Bruce Lee, that came out in 2015. So if anyone can tell me otherwise, but it is 2015 when this came out. So This is a great documentary. And there's some interviews with Dana White, Bob Wall, his daughter, his wife, and other various mixed martial artists and other people like that. So I'm going to review that sometime. And in the spirit of Bruce Lee, there's the bio, Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. And this is a good bio. A lot of creative liberties, but they're good creative liberties. So this is a watch. This is quite a watch if you check it out. And a review of this will be real soon. And this is a Wes Craven film that I saw when I was younger. And really thought it was something interesting. And that's Shocker. Wes Craven. It was him trying to do another version of A Nightmare on Elm Street, kind of cash in. But it's an interesting guilty pleasure gem of a flick, so I'm going to give that one a watch again and do a review on it sometime. And another favorite martial artist of mine is Jean-Claude Van Damme, and that's No Retreat, No Surrender. Kurt McKinney. It's got that whole appeal of The Karate Kid, about a martial artist who moves to Seattle, gets messed with. And actually, if anyone's ever seen this, I'm going to give some spoilers. It's the spirit of Bruce Lee comes and teaches him. The spirit of Bruce Lee is played by a Korean actor, so it's definitely a guilty pleasure of the 80s. But the one thing cool about it is Jean-Claude Van Damme, hands down. But it's an odd premise. But the writer of this is Keith Strandberg, and I have another movie of his I'm going to show you later. So this is a good one. And here's another movie of another action star called Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that's Commando. Laugh some Steve Bennett. Remember when I was going to kill you last? I lied. And the guy who did that was also in the Warrior. The guy that he kills was also in the Warriors, and he played one of the bad guys in the crowd. Not him, but the guy I think is Luther. Yeah. So anyway, anyone can on the comment section. David Kelly. It's David Patrick Kelly. He was in the Warriors, The Crow, and he plays the guy that Schwarzenegger's hanging over and he drops and he says that line. So yeah. And this is actually an installment of the Die Hard series, and that's Die Hard with a Vengeance. This is an interesting film because my dad actually took me to go see this. Actually got me out of school, took me to go see this, and I'll get into a story later if I ever do a review of this, and it's a good story. Another 90s flick that I saw when I was 15, and I love this movie. It's about virtual reality killer and the cop who has to come in and save him, and that is Virtuosity, and that's Russell Crowe. That's actually one of his first, next to Quick and the Dead, and goes back to Romper Stompers. This is actually the first time people start to notice him, and that's Russell Crowe, and that's Denzel. Always kills it in these performances, so it's definitely a 90s guilty pleasure thing, that's for sure. And Out for Justice, Steven Seagal, when he plays Gino, and there's some reputations about him later on, but I don't really, that's neither here nor there, but this is a good flick. And plays Gino, William Forsythe plays the bad guy. There's a song, No Sleep Till Brooklyn, so do a review of that soon. And it's a Jean-Claude Van Damme flick, another Jean-Claude Van Damme flick, directed by John Woo, and that's Hard Target. See ya. Made by John Woo, slow motion, Lance Hendrickson, Arnold Vosloo. What's not to like? And this movie right here I'm about to show you is a spiritual successor to Dazed and Confused. It's set in 1980, kind of loosely based on his time as a baseball player in college in 1980, and that's Everybody Wants Some. And this movie, it's got an awesome soundtrack, Van Halen, punk music. The guys are very likable. Tyler Hoechlin, Glenn Powell. This is a watch, and a review will be done on this. So this is another gem, another guilty pleasure gem from my youth. Came out when I was 15 in the video game, and that is Mortal Kombat. An interesting tidbit about this: Brandon Lee was actually up for the role of Johnny Cage, and what they fashioned after Johnny Cage is Van Damme's character, Frank Dukes. Johnny Cage has actually modeled him after the game. So this is another guilty pleasure. That's that one. And my other ones are right over here. So I'm going to divert you right over here. See here. These are two Jackie Chan flicks. Police Story and Police Story 2. Definitely, this is what actually Brandon Lee got inspired from that first movie, Police Story, motorcycle scene. I'll explain later. That's, going to watch these real soon and do a review on them. And another one of these two, one's from the director James Glickenhaus and one's Crime Story. So yeah, here you go. That's Protector and Crime Story. It's got two versions, like the James Glickenhaus version and a Hong Kong version. And I'll get into the nuts and bolts of that one later on, especially this one. So that's that one. And a couple of ones I have here, no particular order. There's From Dusk Till Dawn, George Clooney, Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino. There's a couple sequels, and there was a show of this, so might want to do that one as a review soon. And another, Brandon Lee's birthday is going to be coming up real soon. We'll see him on February 1st, so I might do a whole thing dedicated to Brandon Lee. And one of the films, I actually dressed up for this for Halloween, and that's The Crow. And everyone knows about The Crow, everyone knows about the accidental bullet, that whole thing on the set with a prop gun that wasn't loaded right, and it killed him. But he would have gone on to have an amazing career, an amazing movie, awesome soundtrack, so that's The Crow. And another film with an actor of mine that I definitely am a fan of. I mean, I love this guy big time, and that's Kurt Russell in Escape from New York. And this film is from Shout Factory. See, the one thing about Shout Factory, when every time they do a Scream Factory or Shout Factory, they do awesome artwork. And you can see here that's the main artwork, and there's the actual old poster title. And if you turn this around, it's this poster title as well. So yeah, Shout Factory, Scream Factory do amazing artwork. And speaking of which, there's another one here I have. It's called I Come in Peace. Now, that has Dolph Lundgren, and it has that line, I come in peace. Dolph Lundgren goes, you go in pieces, asshole. And it's got almost the same thing, Shout Factory. It's got like the cover art here, and the actual old poster cover art of Dark Angel. Now, that movie, if you say it's I Come in Peace or Dark Angel, but I actually like the title I Come in Peace. It rolls off the tongue more better. And sounds too much like the show. If you say Dark Angel, people confuse it with the show of Jessica Alba. So that's that one. And I have some other ones here for you. And these I might talk about on my other channel, Andrew Fudge, just from an actor's standpoint. And that is the Aaron Sorkin A Few Good Men. Tom Cruise, Demi Moore, Jack Nicholson, You Can't Handle the Truth. Amazing writer, amazing story, Rob Reiner. Started out as a play, then it started as a movie, so might actually talk about this from an acting standpoint on my channel, Andrew Fudge. And another in the De Niro collection, it's Goodfellas. Yes, Goodfellas. I'm funny. Like how, like a clown? So yeah, Ray Liotta, De Niro, Joe Pesci, and this might be another one. I might talk from the Scorsese collection, just an actor point of view, and that's that. Another one here I have is American Ninja. The man Michael Dudikoff, Canon Films. Some interesting tidbit about that. Chuck Norris was actually going to be up for this part, but they decided to change it to Joe. And Kurt McKinney from No Retreat, No Surrender was actually going to read for this. And another Canon movie, Canon Films, those two guys are a hoot. So that's Canon, an American Ninja. So here we go. The Dirty Dozen. Yes. Lee Marvin, John Cassavetes, Jim Brown, just Robert Aldridge, Kenneth Hyman producing. This movie is just a gem. And Lee Marvin, I put that as another one of my favorite actors too. So, and look here, and this is Passenger 57, Wesley Snipes. Always bet on black. What's not to like? Another interesting film I like from this guy, and that's Tom Cruise, Jack Reacher. And Jack Reacher, in the actual book, he's actually a blonde, big dude. So, but that doesn't. I mean, I think he kills it in that bar scene. I'm going to talk about that bar scene. That bar scene is just so dope. So anyway, that's Jack Reacher. Oh, and another one of my favorite martial arts films. Another one of my favorite martial artists, and that is Mr. Jeff Speakman in The Perfect Weapon. Actual Kempo master, and he's trained under Ed Parker, Goji Ryu. He's, that scene where he's doing his kata with the song I Got the Power. Gonna do a review of that one real soon. And a gem from when I was a kid, and that is the live-action version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is, I actually got the VHS version of this where it's that old clip, that old Pizza Hut clip of that baseball, of the kid in the baseball, I play right field. So this is another one, and who knows, I might do a whole nother review on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So that's that. So, and another grand assortment here. So I got another stack here, and it's another Van Damme movie, and that is Bloodsport and Time Cop. Now, Bloodsport, this is the reason why I wanted to be a martial artist, is because of that. Well, Karate Kid 2 and other things, but in Time Cop, another great gem of a movie. I saw it countless times when I was younger, so that's that one. And what a coincidence. We find another Van Damme movie I like so much between Bloodsport and Kickboxer. That actually was on a VHS. And this movie is another movie why I got into the martial arts as well. That's that one. Oh, and another one of my horror film collections, and that's Halloween, the Halloween H2O, and Curse of Michael Myers. These ones are okay. This one I thought was pretty cool. That's Halloween H2O. And another Jack Nicholson flick. I'll give you a hint. Here's Johnny. The Shining. Yes, The Shining. Mr. Stephen King writing, Stanley Kubrick, and Jack Nicholson's performance, Jack Torrance, in this book, and it actually was based on having cabin fever, and Stephen King writes something about his own experiences, and Shelley Duvall. They have a behind-the-scenes thing where Shelley Duvall's not particularly having a good experience there, and Kubrick really wrote her all the time about this, but it's a good performance. He got a lot out of hers, and that's a good sign. And another of my favorite series, and I put / Christmas movie / action film, and that's the Lethal Weapon trilogy. Now, this is a all 3-parter, so we got Lethal Weapon, Lethal Weapon 2, there's Lethal Weapon 3, and Lethal Weapon 4. And there's, of course, many of the special features. Shane Black. That was a box that dropped. So, yeah. Shane Black did it. And it's another one of those great films with great cast, great chemistry between Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. What's not to like? Shane Black's writing, Richard Donner's directing, and I've seen an episode of the TV show. Not bad. Clayne Crawford and Damon Wayans, can't go wrong there. They make a good couple. Good couple. And another one of these films, which I saw when I was much younger, and the Cinemasochist did a review on this. I'll put in the link below. Stone Cold, and that is Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth, aka the Boz. It's an Alabama cop who goes undercover to a biker gang, and it's just a gem of a flick. It's awesome. It's kick-ass. I mean, you name it, it's got it. So that's Stone Cold. And another one of a horror classic that I definitely saw, and that's The Evil Dead. So maybe next Halloween I'll actually do a review of Evil Dead, and that's that. And another De Niro classic, which is very much in the vein of this old movie I'll mention on my Criterion Collection called I Vitelloni, but this is what Scorsese used for the movie Mean Streets. Now, yes, Mean Streets, De Niro, Keitel, what's not to go wrong? Yeah, it's set in New York City, set during, based on Marty Scorsese's whole childhood growing up, and he used I Vitelloni. And that movie has been used from Diner to all sorts of movies about friends doing nothing. And another flick I saw, and actually wanted to go in the Navy. I didn't go in the military, but this is basically, it's the concept of Top Gun, but only with the special forces, and that is like Kevin Smith says, Navy SEALs. Charlie Sheen, Michael Biehn. Let's see where Charlie Sheen's going after his car to the tune of Strike Like Lightning from Mr. Big. That's a gem. And this is actually a 5-parter. It's a collection, and that's of Sylvester Stallone, yes. That's of Cobra, Assassins, Tango and Cash, The Specialist, and Demolition Man. All are awesome flicks. Assassins, I'm still watching, kind of getting into, but I'm not really sure. But I'll end up doing my review of Cobra. There's so many other reviews of Cobra. I'll just put my 2 cents in real soon. And another one of these actors I've always admired and I've always wanted to be like, and I'll actually do more of an introspective of James Dean, and that's Rebel Without a Cause. A quintessential movie about the 50s, about alienated youth and the Dean persona. Everything just... You could do a remake movie like that today, and you could still do it. It'd be very different, but the themes of alienation are always a big type of thing. And another film, this is the last of the Blu-rays for now, Scrooged. I put this on my list every year at Christmas, just watched it. You can't go wrong with it, underrated flick. Bill Murray's performance, and actually do a little review of it on my Stardust app. That last speech is awesome. He really proves what he is as an actor, but I did say preachy in that, but I mean, it had to be just a little bit because he's going through a change, and this really shows how much of a good of an actor he is. And then he actually Donner let him improv the last couple of minutes of that scene, but him and Donner didn't get along, but that kind of thing happens, so that's Scrooge. Now, I looked through my VHSs. Did I just say VHSs? I meant DVDs. Actual DVDs, so I might cut that one out. So, here we go with the DVDs. Alright. And this DVD is another one from the Cannon Fodder. It's an interesting flick that is a guilty pleasure. Might watch it again, and that's American Kickboxer with John Barrett and Keith Vidal. Now, Keith Vidal is an actual martial artist and Italian martial artist. I think he trained with Chuck Norris at one point. So yeah, that's a good one. And this is my favorite. Love this guy, actor, martial artist, you name it, he's done it, and that is Mr. Brandon Lee, Rapid Fire. Yes, totally. That song, I'll Be There. I'll do a big review of that. And actually, I'm actually going to do a review of that around February 1st during his birthday. So I might do a whole retrospect of that, of this guy. And have this on Blu-ray, have this on VHS, and that is, again, look at that, it's Bloodsport and Showdown Little Tokyo, another Brandon Lee flick. And going with February 1st, I'm going to do a whole month of Brandon Lee films, and that's another one I'm going to do. And this is another underrated Christmas gem, which is called, by Rod Serling, it's called A Carol for Another Christmas. Now, this is Sterling Hayden, Ben Gazzaro, and it's the Scrooge take, but it's, instead of Scrooge, it's Daniel Drudge, a billionaire industrialist, and so it's definitely out there. And Peter Sellers plays this called the Imperial Me, and that is a very, very interesting performance. And by interesting, if I ever do the review sometime, you'll know what I mean by interesting performance in Peter Sellers. So yeah, that's that one. And this is another one that the Cinemasochist recently did, which is actually one of my first videos, a scene from this very movie, and that is Fear City. And Fear City is it's named from the same director from Bad Lieutenant. Very gritty. Tom Berenger, Billy D. Williams, Melanie Griffith. And Melanie Griffith, oh boy, just looks hot. And her daughter is just there's good genes in that family. So that is Fear City. And another, it's actually a sequel to the Christmas movie / action film, and that's Die Hard 2. We're seeing that one. And some people think it's a cash-in. I think it's a great flick. I think it's another one of those, it's Bruce Willis being Bruce Willis, 1990, William Sadler, Bonnie Bedelia, Richard Thornburg, the guy who played Walter Peck, the actor who played him, Richard Thornburg, and this time it's in an airport, bunch of commandos trying to release this drug dealer. So yeah, that's that one. And another Christmas gem that I'm going to be taking out real soon, and that is Christmas Time in South Park. And that is all the episodes of Christmas-themed episodes of South Park that are all the Christmas themes, the Mr. Hanky, Santa's balls. So yeah, that's another one. And another of a movie that I recently saw thanks to the Cinemasochist, and that is King of the Kickboxers. And Lauren Avedon, I wish I would have found that guy sooner. He is an amazing martial artist, and one scene there, it's a little overdone where he goes, like that. Now, they actually told him to do that. So that wasn't meant to be on purpose. He just, the director said, give me some Stallone-like scream, and that was that. And another in the Brandon Lee fodder, that is Legacy of Rage. Very much a guy who never got a chance to shine. And Brandon Lee, amazing man. Amazing actor. And he takes up after his father. He's a chip off the old block. And these two here, actually three of them here, are two martial arts films that I really think are awesome. And that's Best of the Best, a great movie about martial artists overcoming obstacles, and the ending is not what you think. So give that a whirl. Anyone else who's done a review on it, check that out. And the sequel, which I saw more than I saw the first one, that's Best of the Best 2, Baracus, and Eric Roberts, Philip Ree. That is another gem that I'm going to do a sequel on. And another, which of the first one is both American Ninja. That's American Ninja 2 and that's American Ninja 3, David Bradley. So I'm going to do a review of that one also. And another, I'm almost done here. So I got the VH version of this now. It's Cloverfield. So yeah, I'll do a version of that. A review. And 2 films here. I'm starting to really think this guy's interesting. And that is Sonny Chiba, who he actually studied under Kyo Koshun Karate, and he plays his master in this, the guy this is based on. And I'm going to be getting Bear Fighter real soon, so that's that one. And Karate for Life, Mr. Sonny Chiba. And some other ones. I'm going to be done here, trust me. And this guy recently passed, and I'm going to miss him terribly. That's Mr. Hugh Hefner, the bio of Playboy activist and rebel. So I'm going to do a review about him real soon. Jaguar Lives, Mr. Joe Lewis. Another thing by Mr. Jeff Speakman, that's Running Red. And only one movie of Brandon Lee here is, but mostly it's Bruce Law, Bruceploitation, and that's Action Pack, Bruce Law, and Brandon Lee. Another film that I got for Christmas recently, I love this, it's Logan. Logan, by James Mangold. Can't go wrong there. And Judgment Night, Dennis Leary. And last but not least, another Steven Seagal flick, Hard to Kill and Above the Law. Yeah, and that's pretty much my whole collection. So I'm going to be doing reviews of this all through the year, beginning of 2018. And my actual Andrew Fudge page is going to be more dedicated to the acting side of things, monologues, character-driven movies, you name it. That's going to be dedicated to that. So thank you for showing you my collection, and hope 2018 is going to be a really good year for you. I know it's going to be for me. And let's let 2017 be gone. And a Happy New Year. And later.